As you probably heard, Crucible War Unlimited is out of print, and I wanted to discuss what this means for the game and what the inner workings of this are, because this is a big deal. Having an unlimited product for Flesh and Blood be out of print, no more printing of it, creating scarcity, creating a thing where this box is only going to go down in supply over the long period of time, over the next 1 to 5 years, is a pretty big deal. Now, let me tell you what I think and why Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising weren't chosen first to be out of print. Crucible War, as you probably already know, you cannot build a deck with the cards that you get from one booster box of Crucible War. That's a big deal, man. And when new players are getting into the game of Flesh and Blood, I've seen a couple people back in the day say, "Hey, can I even build a deck now? I just spent like $90 on this game. Can I build a deck with this?" And people are like, "Nah, sorry, dude, you bought the wrong box." And it was really meant for people who have already purchased a bunch of cards, and now you can get nice extra abilities or nice extra equipment for your heroes. Another thing is you cannot draft with it, or yeah, you might be able to draft with it, but it's pretty damn hard. But essentially, for like a normal draft thing, it's just not a box you can draft with. It just doesn't have the tools you need. But what's weird about it is it had a bunch of heroes in it, which were the young heroes, which you could play in Blitz. So it's kind of odd how it had those types of heroes that you normally play in a draftable situation, but then then it wasn't a box meant for drafting, or it couldn't be drafted. It was just kind of a very odd type of box. And when you think of the whole box itself, it is a supplemental product in nature. You have your core products. So Legend Story Studios has told us already that they're going to make 2 core boxes a year, and then they're going to make 1 supplemental set a year. And supplemental products are supposed to like fill in the gaps. It's supposed to be like not a main course. This is like an appetizer, or like a little appetizer on the side. It like gives you a little hint of nice goodness, and it fills in the gaps where the core set may have missed. So if there's like some issue with some synergies being too good in the core set, supplemental set is supposed to help with adding cards that can counter like really crazy strategies, or also provide like different methods or different heroes to play with. And it's supposed to like shake things up a bit, and it's also supposed to be to reprint cards that are really desirable, that need a reprint. I mean, if you see Crucible War, what's the main card in the legendary slot that they reprinted? It was the spring Fandel Spring Tunic. They realized, hey, a lot of people like this card, and the card price is very high. Let's put this in Crucible War as well. So it was really a set to kind of fill in the gaps and all that stuff. And the reason why they took it out of print first, in my mind, is because they realized this. And to new players, it really didn't help. And the people who were already in the game, they could just buy the singles that they needed. So, it really didn't have as much purpose. I think going forward, and later on in 2021, early 2022, when we have our next supplemental product for Flesh and Blood, in my mind, I think they're going to make the product draftable, because it's just an easier way to play the game. We've already seen from Monarch to Tales of Aria, the level of drafting and sealed experience is tremendously better. You can have so much more card pool in Tales of Aria for when you're doing your draft or sealed versus Monarch, because like when I open up my 6 packs, you literally like in Monarch, if you're playing the sealed format, right, where you get 6 packs, I would open them up, pick a hero, and literally I would barely have enough cards to play with that hero. To have like 30 cards, or maybe 33. But with Tales of Aria, you have 6 packs, same format, right? You pick a hero, literally you have 40, 46, maybe 47 cards to choose from making that deck for that hero. And from the 47 cards, you only need 30. So you could cut 15 of them out and make a 30 card deck. Where in Monarch, you really didn't have that option of deck building of the cards. You just had literally the hero, and then you picked everything that you could. But it was much harder. So we've seen that with their core set. I think with their supplemental product, they'll probably do the same. It'll help not only new players, like, buy a box and actually be able to construct a deck out of the cards that they buy in the box. Because if you think about cards as game pieces, I can definitely see the argument for people who are just new to the game and just don't know any better and like, ooh, I like the shiny, orange box of Crucible War, and they buy this thing for $90, open it up and say, hey, I just spent $90 on a game and I can't play it. So I definitely see the argument there, and I'll be very interested to see if they do that in the future. They make the next supplemental product more playable out of the box. Other things to note, I think, are these card prices. Who knows what they're going to do in the short run? There's always hype when new things like this happen, but ultimately, I'm not really gonna try to like get in there and do my stuff. I think that ship has already sailed. If you bought the Crucible War boxes for $100 each, or if you can do so at this time, it's probably smart. I don't think I have too many hookups for that, or I didn't buy any Crucible War Unlimited at all. So I think I kind of just completely missed the boat, which is fine. I have first edition cards. It's all good. I don't really need Crew U. But I think that this is really a wake-up call to all those people who are collectors and investors who have been, sleepy. It's been sleepy time for a very long time in Flesh and Blood for the secondary market out there. And this is a wake-up call saying, hey, stuff can go out of print that's unlimited. And I made a video about, our Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising. I mean, it's not going to be printed forever. I'm not going to be an 80-year-old man in a retirement home and I can walk into my local game store with the cane and be like, oh, can I get a Welcome to Wrath Unlimited box? It's they can't keep just making boxes forever over the next 20 years, and they're constantly printing every single product that they've ever made. So I think there's that. There's definitely an aspect for that, and say, hey, what will happen when these unlimited boxes go out of print? What will happen, and how will these things age? Because so far these cards have appreciated on a crazy amount of scale for the first edition Flesh and Blood cards. But even still, what is going to happen even with the unlimited cards once 5 years go by, 10 years go by? What's going to happen to a sealed box that's 8 years old for Flesh and Blood? We don't know. We only know stuff that's happened in the last 2 freaking years. And if that has gone up in price so far, what's it going to do in the long run? So it's opened a lot of questions in collectors and investors' minds, I believe, on what their perceptions of these products are. And I really think it was smart that Legend Story Studios chose to do Crucible War Unlimited first before Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising, because, like I said before, it's not really helping new players. It's not really helping current players. You can't open the box and create a deck. So I think it was the right choice. I don't know. Another thing I will give them very big credit for is when they announced Crucible War Unlimited, they said 3 waves. We will produce 3 waves of this product over the next couple months. And they did. And after that, they put this announcement saying, hey, it's not being printed anymore. Another big thing I want to indicate too is look at cards currently that have been printed a lot in other sets, even Welcome to Wrath, Arcane Rising, and Monarch and Tales, that the price is too high. It could possibly be reprinted in the future. Like I said before, supplemental products are meant to fill in the gaps, and if they realize that there's cards in the past that were very expensive and people need them, they're going to print it in this new supplemental product that we're going to see coming up in the next couple months. That's something really key to note. So if you see, if I think there's going to be a lot of speculation around that. I think you're going to see a lot of content creators and a lot of people, other than myself, because I don't want to step near that shit. But they're going to say, hey, I think X card is going to be a reprint. I think here's a hot take of Bronson. I think the cracked bauble is going to be reprinted. Oh, but you're going to see these types of things and these types of moves, and when things do get released, it's going to move the market. Think about it. If you see a reprinted card in a new supplemental set, well, then the previous sets of that card, that card price is going to decline. So that's going to make insider information and all those types of things a really big deal in the future. Because if you have a card that's worth, like, let's say $60 on the open market and it's a Majestic, and then you have a reprint coming up in a supplemental product that it's going to increase the supply by many multiple times. Well, that card that's $60 is probably going to drop to 30 or 20. We've all seen this. If you've been in the Magic the Gathering realm, you've seen this happen and play out. It hasn't played out yet for Flesh and Blood because there haven't been too many reprints of cards. So we're definitely going to start seeing that shenanigan happen soon. So overall, I think it was very well executed. I think they picked the good box to do it. But again, let me reiterate at the end here. This really does beg the question: when is Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising going to be cut off? And really, how big are those print runs? Because I know the community is very big right now, but it's not really that big compared to other games and other different things. And if you think about sealed product on Unlimited, when people have this mindset of, oh, it's unlimited, this box is for the players. Think of that mindset. What is the mindset of you? There's not many collector people out there who are hoarding boxes and boxes of Unlimited out there, most likely, unless they're thinking about like a certain mindset, which I'm telling you. So maybe because it is that type of product, many people are opening them. So if they Legend Story Studios in the future says, hey, no more Welcome to Wrath Arcane Rising, what's going to happen to those box prices? That's the big thing that people are thinking about now. And if you think about in the short term what they could do, think about what they could do in 5, 10 years. When people are really like, these boxes are few and far between. There's not that many out there. And another thing to think about as well, what is that going to do with the Fable prices? I mean, we've already seen the Arknight char go to $500. Already kicking myself in the buttocks not getting one. I wanted to have one of each unlimited Fable card, and yeah, I missed the boat with the Arknight chart. It was selling for like $180 on TCG Player like 5 days ago, and now it's selling for like $500 a card. But I'm not staying anywhere near that. Hopefully, I can trade like an Eye of Ophidia in the future for one. We'll see what happens with that. But ultimately, man, it is what it is. I think that a lot of people knew that Unlimited was going to be cut off eventually. And yeah, just keep your eyes open. But also be careful with reprints in the future. Even though Crucible War is out of print, right? What's stopping Legend Story Studios from reprinting Shiana in the next set? Reprinting other cards in future sets. And there's nothing, and it's good. That's what supplemental sets are for. If people don't have access to the cards to play the game that they want, then it's supposed to give them the cards to, enhance their gameplay. So that's about it, man. Hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, just look at it at a different angle, man. There's just a lot of questions that come from this, and I think that once, I'll leave on this note, and just to give you a whole disclaimer, I'm very biased. I do own Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising Unlimited boxes. I won't disclose the total amount, but I purchased them because I am very nostalgic about the game, and I do realize that if this announcement happens in the future for Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising, same shit's gonna happen. Same. The box prices are going to go to 150 in like a day, and I don't want to be cut off from the game I love because it's out of print, and I'm very nostalgic around Welcome to Wrath and Arcane Rising specifically. That's what I got in this game about. So I wanted to stock up just a little bit, but it just begs the question of what's going to happen when those things first go out of print, and then what's going to happen in the long run, 5, 10, 15 years of this game. Well, what are those box prices going to do even on unlimited product? So just something to think about. Thanks for watching.